please welcome to the stage Martin Nisenholtz, Senior Advisor to the New York Times.
Hello. So Brian talked about the story arc. I have just 5 minutes to pull a lot of stuff together. My thought about this morning is that this was not so much a panel or a group of panels about social media as it was about leadership. And I thought that the opening session defined that very, very well when we talked about the idea of stubborn on vision and flexible on details. Now, the idea of a leader who is willing to take risks and go beyond what you might call the comfort zone, I thought was expressed extremely well in the first panel follow-up. Putting customers ahead of profits. That's a very, very, very difficult thing to do. And this notion of, in a business, standing for something beyond the bottom line, Carol's idea that vision and purpose sit above profit, very, very difficult and very non-traditional in the sense that leadership is now about integrating your values with your business life. I think in the idea that Rob brought up, not a revolution, not an evolution, an infection. So this notion that you're going to approach these transformations in a very gentle way, but that you don't have time to be so gentle that you wait for the organization forever to catch up was an extremely important point. The second of the 4 points that I kind of took note of was this idea that consumer co-creation is a sea change in the way that particularly large marketing firms approach this idea of the relationship. So Raquel's notion that designing experiences for people, this notion of participating in people and process, the daily doing is the challenging piece, all very, very important in this notion of co-creation. The third piece, which I thought was extremely important in terms of leadership, is that leadership is bidirectional. There was a lot of talk about the CEO and the role of the CEO, and obviously without the CEO and the senior leadership team, you can't get a lot done in an organization. But leadership is truly bidirectional in the sense that there's an evangelism purpose here, and Dana, I thought, did an excellent job in describing how they took it all the way to the CEO and the leadership team at Aramark. Finally, the fourth piece, social permeates the organization. The consumer is the last stakeholder, which I thought was very interesting, as well as Ellen's points about not being perceived as a social department, a company-wide philosophy and execution. So these 4 points, the idea of vision and putting the customer ahead of profits. Second, the idea of consumer co-creation. Third, the idea of leadership being bidirectional. And fourth, the notion that social permeates the organization were, for me, the 4 key elements that sit above social and define the leadership challenge as we go forward in this new area, and sort of set out the theme or the story arc, as Brian talked about, setting out the ideas behind this conference. So I'm going to be back at around 2:30 to take it to the next level, but I just wanted to put it out there that I did not feel that the first piece was so much about social as it was about this notion of leadership and how important leadership is in transforming the essential aspects of the corporation or the company. Thanks very much.